Yes.
चलो.
Regarding our business, we would like to describe the process of sandblasting, metallizing, and painting. In case of blasting, we are having the business for sandblasting, grit blasting, copper blasting, silica blasting, and number of blastings we are doing, where main thing is to remove the rust from the metal surface, which is created by either by moisture or by rains or by water on metal, by formation of by the media of water, moisture, and other medias. The rust formation is created on the surface of metal, and that is to be removed before painting, either by painting or metallizing or by painting. For the same purpose, in the world we are having number of processes which are invented for the prevention of surface protection. For the protection of this metal, we are having a business for metallizing and painting. For metallizing, before we do metallizing, we must have to do sandblasting, and we have to do surface preparation, which prepare the surface and makes ready for the coating of either metal or paints, and that is being created by number of engineering equipments. And for blasting, it's a process in which air and blasting media, either sand or grit or copper, is being passed into a rubber hose pipe and flown to the nozzle at the end of the pipe, and which flows over the surface and creates the removal of the rust which is being created on the surface of the metal. Also, this is the only one media, but in case of, suppose it's a big formation of rust, then we may utilize either by copper, by shot, by grit, that is being made up of either MS or SS, and that creates a deep penetration and gives a good result for the surface profile of the metal. The surface profile of the metal, as the surface profile of the metal is better in depth, either the paint coating or metal coating is deposited on a higher layer, and that lasts for 25 to 50 years and decades and decades of time. Of course, in number of country, we have seen that number of applications are such that those are to be the lives of the equipments are for centuries or 5 decades or 10 decades or centuries, in which special type of metallizing being carried out. In case of metallizing, we have got two business. For metal coating, means for zinc coating and for aluminum coating. For zinc coating, we can say wherever the application is to be applied for sweet water, the zinc is to be coated, and wherever the application is to be kept into we can say a salty water or any at the sea beach, then the aluminum coating is required. Suppose if it is kept, the things are in open space and at the sea beach, then you see the rust formation of salt is being deposited on the surface of metal, and that get rusted within very short time. On because of this, we have sorted out wherever the big deposit, the life of the equipments is to be decided to leave it for much time, for decades of time. We keep it the hard deposit. We keep it. We can say the deposition of paints or metal is kept for hard micron, and higher micron of metal and these paints extend the life and it gives durability of the metal and durability of the equipment, and after all the durability of business. Suppose, as for example, if we take the example of what we can say, this whatever the equipments are running on the sea water, and whatever the equipments are running in airflow in open air, and whatever the equipments are running on the earth but on the hanging on the earth, they are required to be coated with aluminum coating. As in salty water, we keep the coating for aluminum, as aluminum has got a characteristic that prevents the rust for decades and decades, centuries and centuries. If we go for higher coating or the metal coating, suppose by 400 to 500 microns, it lives, the durability remains for 100 years. The marine, we can say a sea marine is running on the water, is running for 55 decades, 6 decades, 7 decades, even centuries also, but it doesn't get rusted, because that coating is meant for about 500 microns, and 500 microns extend the life of the metal and does not allow to form the rust on the surface, even though it is running for a period of centuries under the water. And if it is the time is less, micron is less, depth is less, then it may happen that the formation of rust can take place, and the life of the equipment can also be minimized rather than what we have expected to get it maximized. This is only for not for a sea beach, for a sea marine machines, but this is also the application for the other equipments which are running under the water, and also wherever the spraying of the salty water is being spread out on the, we can say, the applications and the application machines, those are being also applied for the aluminum coating. And wherever the, we can say, likewise the submarine, likewise this we can say the wind machines and other applications also, such that wherever the flow of salty water is being kept, then rust formation is applied, rust formation is created, developed, and because of that the life of the total equipments is getting reduced, decreased, and after all we cannot get the much more what we can say, the compensation from the technology. Hence for this technology of metallizing is being applied for the prevention of rust and coating of metal to save the life of the machines and to extend the life of machine, and after all to maximize the business of the total equipments wherever this total life of the equipments directly links up with the business of the country, and after all it helps in motivating the business of the country. This is what we can say, after all, business for not for earning the money, for motivation of the extend the business of the country, and to motivate the life of the human being also. So this is just for, this process is not for man, this only for metal, but is a thing that happens to attach and link up with the life of the human being and to the we can say the development and progress of the country. This is our business, and we are entirely in the line since last 25 years, and we have developed number of things while within our 25 years experience, having experience of careers, and among which we have searched out number of things by our own experience and views, and those we have applied also, and those applications, I mean those experiences we have applied in applications also, and those results have been resulted in a way that our economy is also this increase to a profitable substance, and that also gives the less we can say a higher profit, and also less labor, and we can say the strength of the people, strength of the labor also decrease because of certain good virtues of certain new recreation and developments. Year of 2010 we have introduced our ambe sandblasting and sandblasting into the field, and we have come in the open market for the business of sandblasting, copper blasting, grit blasting, shot blasting, silica blasting, and metal coating like metallizing and zinc spray galvanizing. Also we are doing the paint coating for epoxy, synthetic enamel, and PU coatings. For different applications of the rust formation, different applications are being utilized. Wherever the metallized, I mean the water applications are being just, the environment is just mixed up with the water, then metallizing equipments are being coated with the metals like zinc and aluminium. Wherever the only air application is there, then the things are to be coated with the paints by epoxy or synthetic. And for the same, we are on the field since last 2010, and we have started our business with the small wages, and in the beginning at the year of 2010 we have just started in a small unit, and at the very first year, at the 2011, we have very less turnover, as we had we have whatever the market we had availed during the year, that was not extended to a large extent. Hence we could come up to 10 to 15 lakhs, and after then we have come into market by our own experiences, then and our own experiences of both the owners Dinesh Bhai and Santi Bhai. We have come into the market and we applied our experiences for marketing, and we have spreaded the total experience of in the applications of metallizing and painting and blasting, and that has increased, that has promoted the business up to 1 crores within 6 to 7 years. Now at the end of 2017 we have come to the total turnover maybe reached to more than 75 lakhs annum, and not only the this turnover is just fixed up for the not only the criteria is for turnover, but we have come across number of applications for blasting, painting and metallizing, and we have come across with a number of other multinational companies, other corporate group of India's limited companies, government sectors, private sectors, public undertakings, and for which we have taken rate contract, we have taken the contract for specialization, for special items for metallizing and blasting and painting, and those all we can say from the different parties, from the different corporate groups, from the government undertaking companies, we have come to conclusion that if we have a good market, if we have the requirement is we can say up to certain specific satisfaction in the market, if your product, your process and it is up to a satisfactory operation, then you may easily get the, we can say easily get the business. And it is not to get the business, but if you have maintained the quality to the entire satisfaction of customer, then you may get a goodwill in the market, and that goodwill will affect the goodwill of others, other client, and other client will spread our goodwill to other parties, and that after the resultant effect of our quality, resultant effect of our what we can say, our labor mechanism, labor activity, and we can say our faithfulness towards the customers, that increase, that promotes the business to entire satisfaction of the parties and customers, to a national level for different corporate groups, government undertakings, and all public limited companies. So far as the ambe sandblasting is concerned, we both partners are experienced for 25 years, since working since last 1993. We entered in the business, and we had a sufficient experience of blasting, metallizing, and painting, and carried out number of projects for corporate groups, public limited groups, and number of public limited companies. We have also carried out a we can say some special type of projection in the field of glass beading also. In glass beading, it's a special process which is being carried out on SS surface. It is being carried out. It can be done only SS surface only, because SS is such a metal which requires to be lightened, and to be, we can say, surface to be tortured up to a matte finish level. For that, glass beading is required. Glass beading is such a process that can be done. It's a very sensitive process, and that can be done with the special type of granules, special type of small grains, which is being attracted on the surface of either we can say on SS surface, which is just lightened with a special application, and those articles which are being glass beaded, applied with the glass, prepared with the glass beading, are being exported to the other countries, and that increases the business for export, and that motivation is increased to our profitability, and that also increase the profit of the nation. This is the, just we can say, the viability, and this is profitability and faithfulness. These all characters created a good faith created a good faith and good honesty into the market, and after all, within 25 years age, we have come to a great station that we could come to, not in at the end of the country, but we have just gone far of the country, and we have increased our business.